What do you make, first of all, of what we saw today in this Senate confirmation hearing as a function of the state of play with Democrats and this administration?
Well, I think that, with regard to Mr. Kennedy, I think that the problem was that he kind of flip-flopped on so many issues that it doesn't feel like he's qualified for the position, which is so important for the health and welfare of our nation. All that being said, if I don't think he's going to get confirmed, but if he is confirmed, then we have to work with him on those areas where we can do so.
In terms of what I'm hearing from the Democrats, not just AOC, because frankly, as popular as she is online, I think she represents an outer fringe of your party, frankly. But your party seems to be searching for what its core is. And it does seem like, oh, Trump is doing everything wrong, and Trump says everything that's not true, and a lot of that kind of hand-wringing and fact-checking, and it sounds a lot like fascism. Do you think that gets Democrats to a better place with the American people?
No, I think what we have to do is we have to meet people where they are economically. I think that was the big lesson of this election, at least for me. I think that we have to make sure that, for instance, we focus on lowering the cost of living, whether it's buying gas, groceries, rent, healthcare, education, and then of course improving people's incomes and getting them to a better place so they can achieve their economic dreams. On the other hand, we also have to stand up for our principles and ideals, and of course the Constitution, which I know you believe very strongly in, and so we have to walk and chew gum.
In listening to the state of play and how this is coming across to people, I heard Stephen A. Smith. He was just on the show before. He said on Bill Maher that people in this country, and this is an interesting proposition, I want to get your head on it, Raja, that people looked at what the Democrats were prioritizing in terms of identity and what should be taught to kids and what people should be made to say and to think and how and where, including online and free expression, and that this country decided, the majority of Americans decided that Donald Trump was a closer semblance of normal for them than the Democrats. What do you make of that proposition?
Well, that's a head scratcher. And I think that's, obviously I ended up winning my reelection in a suburban district in Chicago, the Chicago suburbs. And I think what I learned is that we have to do not only our messaging different, we have to do our policy different. We have to do the substance of what we're trying to accomplish for the American people differently. And what I mean by that is I've talked to you before about, for instance, the work of the committee that I'm the ranking member of, the Select Committee on the Strategic Competition between the U.S. and China. It's one of the most bipartisan and constructive committees in all of Congress because we try to figure out where our boldest common denominators and work from there. And then with regard to other issues, we set them aside until such time that we can kind of bridge the differences. But let's start where we can agree, and then let's go to other places. So for instance, maybe we can work with Donald Trump with regard to upgrading the skills of people who aren't going to get four-year college degrees through improving our career technical education system. Or as another issue, how do we actually lower the cost of living and prescription drugs? I've been going after pharmacy benefit managers for a long time with some Republican colleagues, I might add. And I think these are reforms that the Trump administration should embrace on a bipartisan basis.
See, the key is, Raja, you focus on having better ideas and seeing if you can get them implemented. It seems like your party got away from that instead of and they started defending the establishment. They started defending how things have already been done. That was the problem with the southern border. Last thing, don't you think?
It's not enough to say, for instance, that the rate of inflation is low. If everything is 20% more costly now than 5 years ago, people want to see costs go down. They don't want to just see them, go up at a slower pace. And so we need to kind of solve the kind of kitchen table problems that people have.
That's right. With better ideas, not saying Trump sucks. See, the same thing on immigration. I think, and it's not that whether he sucks or not. I'm just saying it doesn't get you where you want to be. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.